What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about a weapon that Epic ruined in last week's update, and it kind of went under the radar. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of this change. So last week, Epic changed the Breacher Shotgun, and this was in a hotfix a few hours after the update actually went live. So a lot of players just didn't notice this. This was the same update that made it to where you can carry 4 bunkers in a single item slot, but that change also wasn't included in the original patch notes, so it's something that a lot of players didn't notice until they kind of just tried to pick up more than 2 bunkers and they could hold 4. And they actually changed the Breacher Shotgun in this same update, and it really nerfed the weapon. The change was that the Breacher Shotgun structure damage went from 759 down to 255, so it lost over 500 structure damage, and that's pretty ridiculous because the main point of the Breacher Shotgun, as the name implies, was to breach things. For a lot of players, they kind of took this thinking it was a less effective shotgun or a less appealing shotgun, but the added utility of being able to one-shot structures was really good, especially in zero build. In zero build, porta bunkers can be very impactful, especially in competitive, and the bunker walls only have 600 health, meaning it used to be 1 shot to break them with this Breacher Shotgun, and now it's going to be 3, and that's a huge difference because with 3 shots before, you could destroy the entire bunker and have that enemy team with no cover at all. Now with 3 shots, you've destroyed 1 wall. Maybe that makes the bunker not useful for the fight you're currently in, but it's probably still going to be useful in some way to the team using it. A lot of the larger rocks on the map have 900 HP, meaning now it will take 4 shots to break them instead of 2 like it was before. A lot of the larger trees have 600 HP, so now it's probably going to be 3 shots for you to break it instead of just 1. And then some of the walls that you'll see in just like normal houses and buildings that you'll find at the POI, they usually have around 450 HP. So these will often be 2 shots now to break them instead of 1 with the Breacher Shotgun. And it's the same way in build mode. It went from being able to one-shot any full HP build in the game to now it only one-hits wood, and it's going to need 2 shots for fully built brick or metal walls. And this really changes the weapon because, you know, the main kind of value in this weapon was quickly destroying your opponent's cover and then forcing them to respond to a situation that they weren't prepared for at all. You know, they're behind a tree. In 1 shot, that tree's gone, and now they're exposed, and they have to think on the fly and respond to a situation, like, immediately that you put them in. And in team game modes, this was really nice because you could shoot the cover out, your teammates could focus that player before they're able to do anything, and now you have a knock on that team, probably, and that makes it much easier for you to play that team fight, and then you can just kind of rinse and repeat that. And it's the same thing with bunkers. Like, people would throw bunkers down, think they have cover, think they can kind of play off that, and then quickly their bunker just doesn't exist anymore, and you're once again forcing them to respond to a situation that they aren't prepared for and that you are prepared for because you're the one that made it happen. And it just wasn't that common of a thing you would see. You would sometimes see people carry it in competitive, but in public matches, it wasn't a very common item that people would use. And this kind of further played into like the surprise factor of thinking you have cover and then just immediately not having cover at all. In build mode, it's kind of the same way. Someone would think they're boxed up and they can maybe pop heals or reload a weapon or do something. You can just one-shot that wall, maybe exploit in with that 1 shot or replace the wall with that 1 shot. And it's like the surprise factor was so much of the value in this weapon. Not only just removing the cover is really nice, obviously, but that surprise factor was a big component of it and just being able to one-shot things. Whereas now, not only is it going to take you longer to break the builds, so the opponent is less likely to be caught off guard by it, it's going to take you like much more time where you're just like putting out shots with this weapon where they can potentially be shooting back at you or making plays or like, you know, using heals, whatever they got to do. I said earlier that the Breacher Shotgun was, for a lot of people, a less convenient weapon to use or a less appealing weapon to use. The Breacher Shotgun shoots a slug, which meaning like most regular weapons in Fortnite, you just get 1 single bullet that you point out and that you put out when you shoot, and you either hit your opponent and get your damage or you miss and get no damage. The other shotguns in the game shoot a spread of pellets, meaning it's very easy to get at least some damage on the opponents when hip firing in close range. And this is what makes shotguns so good. You don't have to worry too much about aiming because you're going to hit them with some amount of damage. This is also why the shotguns are inconsistent at times because you might hit somebody but only hit them with one pellet, so you're not going to get very much damage. Whereas if you hit all your pellets, you're going to get a lot of damage. And then the same is true with headshots. You might hit one pellet to the head and the rest to the body. It's going to show as a lower damage headshot than what you expected. Whereas like if you hit all pellets to the head, you're going to get a lot of damage. So that like the pellets made shotguns inconsistent, but it also made them very easy to use in close range fights. You know, you could peek for a very limited time and hit a shot. You could jump around, hip fire, crouch, do what you got to do. You could be very agile with the shotguns because all you had to do was be aiming towards the person and you were going to hit them, especially in close range. Whereas the breacher shotgun shoots a slug, so you have to be perfect with it. Hip firing this weapon in a close range fight is a lot like hip firing the hunting rifle would be. You might hit the no scope and get good damage, but you also might just miss and hit no damage at all. And when the other person is like playing aggro on you with an actual shotgun and then probably swapping to an explosive repeater rifle or an SMG and then swapping back to their shotgun again, like the sharp tooth shotgun or the havoc pump just fits that playstyle a lot more than what the breacher shotgun did because the breacher's slug. It did have insane range, but even then, if you're like 25 meters away fighting somebody, would you rather have the MK, which is gonna like beam the person and put out a lot of shots, or would you rather have the breacher shotgun where maybe you hit them for like 80 damage to the body and then you have like a slower fire rate before you get another shot again? I just feel like the MK works better in that type of situation. So for a lot of players, the breacher shotgun was a less appealing choice. It was a less effective shotgun. It's kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none weapon, where it can do some close range, it can do some medium range, it can kind of do some long range, but it's not the best weapon for any of those fights, and it's also not the most convenient weapon to use in any of those fights. It's a much more difficult weapon to use than any of the other shotguns or any of the other ARs at long range. It's just like inconvenient to use in every fight, and it's not the best in every fight. So I feel like as a weapon goes, the breacher shotgun was not good. The main reason why anybody was using it was that added utility of just being able to destroy structures. You would take this gun knowing that, hey, I have a less effective shotgun, but I'm going to be able to destroy bunkers for my team, and that's going to make us win the game. Like, that utility was invaluable, especially if your team was used to playing around it, because like I touched on in the video, you're forcing the enemies to respond to like an uncommon situation that your team is prepared for. So it gives you a huge leg up in that fight, and it makes it very easy to get knocks. But without the ability to one-shot structures, I just don't really see the breacher shotgun being a weapon that anybody is going to use. It still does like okay structure damage, but like I said, it gives the opponents more time to react, and that like minimal reaction time that they have is what made this weapon so effective in game. Like if it doesn't one-shot structures or doesn't destroy structures well, and it's also a less effective shotgun, it's really not that great. The only thing it really has going for it at this point is the range as far as the shotgun goes. But if I wanted to use a ranged shotgun, I would rather have the sharp tooth because its range might not be as insane as the breacher, but at least it's effective in closer range, whereas the breacher isn't. So that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I just wanted to put this out there because I feel like this change really went under the radar with it being in a hotfix, and then also with there was a lot to talk about last week with like the explosive repeater rifle coming back into the game, and then the sharp tooth coming a few days later. There was a lot that happened last week in Fortnite, so I feel like a lot of players might have missed this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you're still going to be using the breacher shotgun, if you think it's trash now, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.